I absolutely believe that all the keys, all the mysteries by which that are almost unfathomable to us today, the key is the central nervous system. This central nervous system is amazing what it does. A filtering system filters out all kinds of information on the physical level. This interface between the soul and psyche and the physical avatar of the body to create the person we call Jason Brashears. This interface between soul, basically between soul and materiality, is so advanced. It filters out all this data and information, allowing us to basically live in this construct and believe everything that we see, hear, feel, taste, touch. Now, at the same time, that interface is very dynamic because it also blocks us from any prior memory of prior life sims. The central nervous system is a filter, like a mirror, both ways. It blocks everything. It is the absolute key. This is why so many symbols in ancient times all look like the serpent going up the staff, all look like vertebrae, while from our tailbone to the nape of our neck, where our skull comes out, we look like a snake. Everything else is just attached to the human anatomy. The central nervous system doesn't need anything in the human body but the skull, the brain stem, and the backbone and the vertebrae. Everything else is attachment. We look just like a serpent. So it's not even a mystery to me that this genetic wiping has happened because it becomes necessary. Because if Jason Brashears entered into life in 1973 of this timeline, Anno Domini, with any prior information of all the things that were acquired in my life sims back when I was in Etruscan times, Roman times, in Nubian times, in this Nubian dynasty, Macedonian times, if I was to have any of that information, how would I grow? I would have taken advantage of the fact that I already learned and acquired all this data, and I would have built from there. Now multiply that by billions of people doing the same thing. Every time they come back with the information that they had before. Can you imagine what the world would be like if everybody brought their information with them? It's not feasible. It would completely corrupt all the output. There would be no growth in personality. People wouldn't grow personalities. People would grow egos. It would be totally different. They would be almost like demigods, gods. So I believe it was absolutely necessary for the mind swipe. And I also believe that because this is a hologram, it is very, very easy technologically to compartmentalize information and to put information off to the side. And a hologram, data is never lost. All you have to do is change your position, and your vantage point sees all new facets of data. All you have to do is change position. So we have changed position multiple times. We call these lives and death sims. But when the hologram collapses, all that information goes to those individual personalities who it belongs to. The hologram no longer contains the data. Now it's broken into all the fractals necessary for the actual personalities that experienced all that. Once the simulacrum collapses, it gives back every single thing that belongs to those who experienced anything within it. This is what I believe is our divine inheritance. We're not supposed to remember anything from life sim to life sim, but once the purge happens, this great purge of everything that's negative and everything that's evil, all that stays in the construct when it collapses. Everything good is brought with you, and all the good things that are brought with you are your armor. These are your mantle. These are all in the ancient mystery schools. They talk a lot about this. When you die, if you're worthy, you are given a white stone. That white stone has your name on it. But it's really weird because then the symbols switch and they say that white stone is your garment. Well, I don't know how to wear a rock, so they're talking about something else. So then we tap into these mystery schools. We're all talking about the Great Pyramid, that it's the monument of man, but it will never be complete until the chief cornerstone descends and sits on it. And that's never going to happen until the monument of man is finished. And the monument of man is never going to be done until a very dark apocalyptic period happens, when the number of souls that equal the stones of the monument itself is made complete. And then there's going to be a final 144,000 souls that remain behind when everybody else is given the choice to go. Everybody leaves that can, but 144,000 specifically choose to stay here to go through the dark times with those that are trapped on this world. Now, I don't know if it's because they're going to pull some of them into the light. Maybe there's some among the damned that actually can be saved. I don't know. But the eschatology is very clear. The final 144,000 are the 144,000 casing blocks that fit on the Great Pyramid. Once they are all killed in the simulacrum, then the chief cornerstone can descend from heaven, a pyramid unto himself, a capstone is sit on top of the monument of man. Then the calendar is complete, the true calendar, not all these fake calendars all these archons keep creating, like the Anno Domini calendar and the Roman Julian and the Gregorian calendar. All those are created by archons. All those are created to fool you from the actual keeper of the times, the Phoenix timeline. So this is the message I give throughout the thread. I mean, I don't ever give a video out about the whole thing, but I explain it in multiple threads through multiple videos, because it's actually rather complex. It's one of these days I'm gonna have to do about a 5 or 6 hour presentation just on the meaning of all the architecture of the Great Pyramid, because it would blow people's minds, but they're never going to accept it until they see the history, until they see all the historical timelines that are recorded within that monument, to understand that the whole monument was built to collapse calendars, because calendars themselves have power. Those timekeeping systems are what enslave us into AIX right now. That's what it is.